Start the recording. So, Harsha, for information, we are just recording and
pleasure.
not streamlining, Okay. So, a very warm welcome to one and all to the FriCED-Up webinar series on entrepreneurship held by Anna University Center for Entrepreneurship Development, CED. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are joined by Mr. Harsha, Sathya Harsha, formally, who is a professional chartered accountant. He is someone who has supported many startups in setting up companies, giving their teams a very legal entities. He is into company incorporations and also the audits and legal taxations. He is very experienced in terms of supporting startups and how to go about strategizing your business plan. So I think without further delay, I would hand the stage over to Mr. Harsha. And I request you all to listen to him. You could interrupt by unmuting as well if it's an important question, but we'll be taking up questions at the end of the session. Over to you, Harsha, and very welcome. I welcome you to the FriCED-Up series, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Dr. Sangeeta. So glad to be the part of this presentation. So first of all, I would like to thank the people over here who have shown up a lot of interest in the entrepreneurship and knowing the nuances of setting up the company and starting the business and taking the things forward. It's really quite interesting. So, so to start with, okay. So you guys have decided that you're going to start up a business. Now you are actually thinking how you're going to start. Okay, you guys are really done with your business ideas. You have fancy business plans in the thoughts. So you know how to sell the product. You have got everything. So how to actually materialize that? So that's what we are actually talking. We are going to talk something about that. I just give you the familiar models of starting the business.
Please full screen? Sorry to interrupt, Harsha. Can you please full screen?
Yes,
full
yes,
screen
yes.
PPT? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Just a minute, just a minute. I think I disturbed something. Just a minute.
You can use this icon underneath. The one before the 62%. You have the icon.
Okay. Oh, I understand. Okay,
oh,
okay. Just a minute, just a minute.
Okay. No, you escape out of it.
Okay.
And if you have F5, you could F5 for a shortcut.
I'm just sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't see full screen yet, Harsha. Can you click this button, right, lower button on the right corner near 100%? There is one cup shape, left to it. No. Near the 100%?
Yeah, it's already 100.
No, near the 100%, the other side of 100%. The other side, there is a cup type, or you could go to view.
Now, is it okay?
No, it's in the editable form. Or could you please go to view on top view?
View, okay.
Yeah, you see full screen?
Fit the window?
No, left side, extreme left, full screen.
No, normal slides.
Okay,
view.
Sorry, slideshow. Okay, view.
No, slideshow. Actually, I started off, but slide master.
No. In the tab slideshow. Yeah, full screen.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake. I said view.
No. Now, can you see?
No, you've got to click the full screen from the beginning.
No, full screen. I've clicked the full screen.
Oh, okay. No, we can't see that.
You can't see that?
No. Can you just zoom to 100% and then we'll see. Slideshow. Can you click the right hand side icon next to 100%? Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
before 100%, there is a cup shape. Please come to the
Yeah.
left, towards the left. Yeah. Here, the last one, next. Yeah, please click this. Did you click that? I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah. I clicked.
we are not
I don't
able
know
to see.
why. Yeah, the full screen, once I make the full screen, I think you people are not able to see, I believe.
Okay, I don't know why.
Now, can you see?
No, not yet. It's still in the small this thing.
No, no, I just changed actually.
Okay.
The small one, it's getting difficult for you to actually see.
No, it's not so small. We can manage. Okay. Why don't you zoom it a little bit and we can manage with it? Yeah. Okay.
Right, ma'am?
Or you want to share again? Sometimes this happens with some of the speakers.
Okay.
It has happened. Can you share again? You
I'll
just
share.
stop sharing and then share. Yeah. I don't know why slideshow didn't happen. Didn't help us. Slideshow from the
I don't
beginning.
know. Can you see the screen now?
We can. Yeah. I think you want to click this icon again once and try. Which is next
I'll
to
do. I'll
100.
do.
Yeah, this one, please. Yeah.
I've done.
Okay, I don't know why we are not getting. Are you sharing only the PowerPoint or you're sharing the screen? Like,
No, I'm sharing the screen.
God knows. Okay, I think without further delay, we
Yeah.
go ahead. So you want to fit the content into the screen and so that everybody can see.
Just on that.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
artist.
Okay. Now can you see?
Yeah, we are able to see. Yeah. So
Okay. Was it fine?
yeah. Yes, a little bit. Can you make it fit into the view so that company we can't see the last bullet.
No, no, no. That I anyway scroll down.
Okay, you're scrolling. Okay, fine. Thank you. Please, Harsha, continue.
All right. Okay. So, as we were discussing, you people have got the fancy ideas. You would like to start up the business. Okay, great. You would like to start up the business. But now you need some clarity on how to actually implement the ideas and how to take the things forward. Okay. The first thing is you have got the ideas. You're going to start up the company. These are the familiar models of starting the company. You can have it as a proprietorship. See, the idea behind the proprietorship is it is something pretty simple for you to start. You have got an idea, you're going to start the business, just write tomorrow morning, you can have the name board fixed on the shop and you can start a business. Proprietorship, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to start. Nobody is going to question you. Proprietorship doesn't have any registration also. See, here I would like to explain you something about the registration. Registration is governed by a couple of acts. The first thing is the governing act. The governing act, say if you're registering under the proprietorship concern, you don't have any governing act. Governing act means you don't have any act at all, you don't have any law at all. None of the law would come forward to say that you have to do only this, you have to do only that, you're not supposed to do this, like that. Nobody is going to tell you. Proprietorship is something pretty free. Nobody can guide you, nobody can dictate you, and you can do anything whatever you want. So you don't have any registration at all. So that's proprietorship. Pretty simple to start. The moment you have the idea, go ahead, have a name for your business and take off with the business. That is proprietorship. Okay. And then partnership. Partnership, two or more people come forward to do the business. Yes, the partnership is governed by the Partnership Act. Now, probably, I think you'll be able to distinguish what I'm talking about, because the partnership is governed by the Partnership Act. The Partnership Act says what needs to be done and what not to be done. Okay, so the Partnership Act dictates a set of regulations, set of guidelines. Based on that, what you can do, what you're not supposed to do, like how the competition needs to be done, how the profits need to be done. Like the partnership has got an extensive set of regulations and you're supposed to follow that. That is partnership. Okay, the first thing is proprietorship and the next one is partnership. Okay, two or more persons come forward and start up a business partnership firm. Yes, if you are really interested in going ahead with the partnership firm, okay, you can go ahead with that. The pros and cons, the features, the benefits, I'll explain sometime later during the session. And LLP. LLP is nothing but the limited liability partnership. And company. Company is nothing but a company what we actually talk. We'll move on to the next. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk something about the proprietorship. As I told you, the proprietorship is something pretty easy to start. You are the owner, you are the boss. There is no need for you to get registered at anywhere unless the specific business warrants you to register. Say, for example, if you are planning to do some business in food and food related business, then probably you'll have to get registered under the food authorities. But this is something based on the business what you do, not based on the entity what you select. And say probably under the proprietorship concern, if you're planning to do some drug and drug related medicine related business, then you will have to get registered under the drug department. But again, it doesn't have anything to do with the entity. Entity is something perfect. You are the boss, and everything is mapped with your PAN card. See, the PAN card is the root of the business. If you have a PAN card for a business, then you can have multiple names, but still everything is linked to the PAN card. Okay, I'll explain sometime later. So as I told you, the proprietorship concern is something easy to start, strong control, no regulations, ease of operation. Okay. So the disadvantages of the proprietorship concern is it doesn't have any limited liability, restricted financial assistance, it has got the challenging status and limited scope for expansion. Okay, so I just explained what these are all about. Unlimited liability, the liability is not limited. That is unlimited liability. You're open to all. And restricted financial assistance, as I told you, since it doesn't have any registration at all, people, when it comes to the bankers or any of the investors, people usually hesitate to do the investment in these kind of businesses because these are suitable only for the small and medium sized businesses. Right. Let's move on to the partnership. As I told you, the partnership firm is again easy to start, better management, sharing of risks. You and your partner come forward and start a partnership firm. You draft a partnership deed. The partnership deed contains the set of terms and conditions between you and your friends. You set up a partnership firm. That's it. Once the deed is signed, the partnership firm becomes alive. And then you need to get registered this partnership firm. Yes, there is an authority called Registrar of Firms, and that person is responsible to take care of all the registration of the firms. And this comes under the registration authority, like how you register when you buy a house, the local registration office. Here, there is a separate section called registration of firms. There you have to get registered your firm. Right. So the first step is you and your friends need to come forward with a mutual set of conditions and mutual accepted regulations. Then you need to get written everything on a partnership deed. Then you need to get registered this partnership deed. Then you need to apply a PAN card separately for the partnership firm. Because in the proprietorship concern, I told you there is no need for you to have a separate PAN card for your proprietorship concern because you and your business both are same in proprietorship concern. There is no separate distinction between you and your firm. Proprietorship concern is something same. So that's why all the transactions, whatever you do under the proprietorship concern was mapped only to your PAN card. Whereas when it comes to the firm, the company is different and you partners are different. That's why you are supposed to have a separate PAN card for your partnership firm, and all the transactions, whatever you do under your firm, that gets mapped in your firm PAN card. Right. So you need to have a separate PAN card for your partnership firm. So then you are free to start the business. These are the set of procedures, set of the steps, whatever you need to do for starting up a partnership firm. Right. So what are the disadvantages in partnership firm? The liability is unlimited. Okay, I tell you what exactly this unlimited liability is, because when we were talking about the proprietorship concern, the liability limited, unlimited, I was just talking something theoretical and you people would have been not clear with what it is exactly. I tell you what it is now. Okay, A and B, two persons are coming forward to start a partnership firm. A, B, each of them share profits equally, 50%. A has 50% stake in the firm and B has 50% stake in the firm. So 100%. Say if there is 1 lakh of profit, 50,000 will be shared by A and 50,000 will be shared by B. Right. This is what the partnership firm says. Now, for the heaven's sake, this is just an example. let's not want this to happen. Just for the sake of example, I'm telling you. Now what happens, the business is going on, but unfortunately the business didn't do well, and the business ended up with a liability of, let us say, some 10 lakhs rupees. You people were not able to pay your suppliers, your stakeholders, and the entire business ran up in a mess, and the entire debt came up to 10 lakhs rupees. Now, as per the partnership profit sharing ratio, we had discussed that 50-50. So technically speaking, A is liable only for 5 lakhs and B is liable only for 5 lakhs, right? But practically it doesn't happen in that way. A says, boss, I don't have any money. I am bankrupt. I don't have any money. Leave me alone. Now B is again individually responsible for the entire 10 lakhs of debt. He just cannot wash off stating that I have only 50% stake in the company. I have only 50% stake in the firm. So I am eligible for a profit of 50% only. So I take over a liability of only 5 lakhs. No, he cannot say. He is individually liable for the entire 10 lakhs of debt created by the firm. This is unlimited liability. Hope now the liability and the unlimited liability and the limited liability must be clear now. So this is actually one of the challenging factors in the partnership firm. I repeat, in the partnership firm, 2 or more persons come forward, the like-minded people come forward to do the business. Yes, you draft a partnership deed. The partnership deed has a set of terms and conditions based on which the firm is going to run, and A and B is sharing profits at the rate of 50-50. Everything is going on good. You have got a separate PAN card, separate bank account for the partnership firm. The business is run in the name of the partnership. Everything goes on well. Perfect, super. But unfortunately, if something goes wrong, and if there is a debt, say 10 lakhs, then A and B 50-50, 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs, not possible, because the liability is unlimited. If A is walking off, shedding off his liability, and he goes untraceable, or whatever mishap is happening to him, then B is individually liable for the entire 10 lakhs of the debt. This is unlimited liability concept. Right. So this is something about the partnership firm, right? So the partnership firm, as I told you, it has got the governing act called Partnership Act, whereas if you try to relate it with the proprietorship concern doesn't have any governing act. It is not governed by any proprietorship act, so and so. So you are free to do whatever you want as long as it is permitted in the law. Right. So to overcome these challenges, the government came up with a new concept called limited liability, LLP, limited liability partnership. So the government, what they did, they combined the features of limited liability and the partnership firm. See, when it comes to the administration of a partnership firm, there are no any stringent regulations. There is no need for you to file your account separately anywhere. There is no need for you to report into anybody. Yes, you have an authority in the partnership firm. He is nothing but the registrar of firms, and he takes care of only the registration of the firms. He doesn't take care of any administration. Right. So the government, what they did, but the only challenging factor in partnership firm is the liability is unlimited. The government wanted to tackle that. So what they did, they incorporated the concept of limited liability in the partnership firm. So the liability is limited, but the rest of all the flexibilities, all the cushions, whatever you had in the partnership firm, continue to be in LLP also. But what happens? The transparency in data is lost. As I told you, the partnership firm, registrar of firms, was the only person taking care of the registration of the firms. There is no need for you to file your accounts anywhere. There is no need for you to report anywhere. But unfortunately, in LLP, yes, this is brought under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and the registrar of companies will be taking care of the limited liability partnerships. And as a part of this, you have to submit your accounts, and that will be uploaded in the website. All the company's entire data will become transparent. This has got advantage and disadvantage as well. The advantage is you get a legal status. Wherever you go, anybody, say if you introduce yourself as XYZ LLP, they can just check it in the government Ministry of Company Affairs website, and they can check it. Whereas in the proprietorship concern, they cannot do that. As I told you, that is completely a closely held database. Nobody can check the authenticity of your company. And similarly, the partnership firm, again, if you introduce yourself as an XYZ firm, Yes, the people are supposed to trust because they don't have any database authorized by the government to check the existence of your entity, your performance. Like nothing could happen in the partnership firm. Whereas in LLP, yes, the limited liability concept was brought in, and in addition to that, it is brought under the radar of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, where you have to submit the accounts annually. Every year, your financial accounts, your receipts, payments, your profits, losses, the balance sheet, everything needs to be uploaded, and anybody can have access to that. So what happens? This gives you credibility. And on the other side, what happens? This the transparency in the data. You are doing a business. You don't want anybody to look even your notebook. But now the company, the entire people are looking at the progress of your firm. Your dad can check the progress of your firm. It is not that he can come and question you. Come on, give me the books of accounts. What have you done? Like that personally, no more personal questioning. He can just straight away check the database, and he can, not only he, anybody. That's completely open. So in that way, that is a disadvantage. But when it comes to authenticity and when it comes to the representation to the investors and stakeholders, this gives a perfect recognition. But still, LLP is a kind of a flexible thing because it doesn't have many of the stringent requirements like how a company has got. I tell you what are all the features that have been incorporated in the company. Okay, this is the company. When it comes to the company, yes, the companies are governed by the Companies Act. See, we have been addressing all the business concerns as company, whereas as per the law, a proprietorship concern is nothing but a proprietorship concern. Partnership firm is addressed as firm. LLP is addressed as LLP. And a private limited or a public limited company is only addressed as company. But what, colloquially, whoever is doing business, everybody started introducing themselves that they have a company, whereas probably practically that could sound good. But as per the law, if you are registered as a private limited or a public limited, then you are a company. Okay, the private limited companies and the public limited companies, all these are governed by the Companies Act 2013. The Companies Act, that is a very stringent act, that is an extensive act, and that has got a lot of regulations, what you have to do, what not to be done, why this needs to be done, what are all the resolutions you need to pass, what are all the permissions you need to get, what you can do, what you cannot do, like do's and don'ts, if and buts. Like it has got a lot of things, and you need to go through that completely. I mean, at least you need to have a professional to go through that completely to make sure that you are within the frame. Sir, it has got all these regulations, but then why company? Because the investors and all of the stakeholders trust only the company. If there is regulation, that is considered as good. If the college is strict, that is considered as a good college. People have an impression that that college has got stringent set of rules and regulations, and they would be teaching good, and they would preach the discipline, and all those things would happen. If the college doesn't have any stringent regulations, your parents will not be interested to make you join in that college. Anybody can come, anybody can go, nobody is going to question you anything. That doesn't make any sense. So the same thing for the business also. And that is why the investors are pretty interested in having you as a private limited company, because the investors, they are not that flexible, that interested in investing in the proprietorship concern and partnership firm. Because practically the first thing is, it is not that easy to do the investments, because the private limited company and public limited company gives a lot of administration facilities, like giving out shares, bringing them as directors, or bringing them as non-executive directors, having the divisions. Like it has got many facilities, whereas the partnership firm and the proprietorship concerns, those are the preliminary or the rudiment way of doing business. But when it comes to the professional way of doing business, that is private limited companies or public limited company. Okay, let's go ahead and see the pros and cons in private limited companies. Pros, yes, as I told you, it has got the limited liability. A, B, C, D, 4 persons are there. In partnership firm, they were addressed as partners. In private limited company, they are addressed as directors. A, B, C, D, each 25% shares, 25% stakeholding in the company. If the company is going on any debt, you are liable only to the 25% of the share, not the full share. That is the limited liability. And the company has got the legal status. That is again a very big thing, because you can buy the property in the name of the company, you can buy a car in the name of the company. Like the company can get into the company can sue somebody. It is not that an individual can sue. The proprietorship concern cannot sue somebody in its name. Only the individual can sue. So similarly, a private limited private partnership firm that cannot sue somebody in its name. Only the partners need to sue or to be sued. Whereas when it comes to the company has got all the rights and all the status to sue. It can initiate the legal proceedings on its own. It is an artificial person. It has got all the features like how an individual has got. It has got a separate PAN card, separate bank account, separate identity, separate. That is an artificial person. That's it. That can sue a person and that can be sued. So since all these administrative facilities are there, the investors are pretty much interested in doing the investments in these kind of private limited and public limited companies. Okay. So again, the perpetual succession, that is again a beautiful thing. A proprietorship concern starts with you and ends with you. It cannot be transferred. On the books, it cannot be transferred. Probably informally, you can say a proprietorship concern, dad would have been running the business, grandfather would have been running the business, dad would have been running the business, and now you enter into the firm. All these perpetual successions are informally, but on the records, you cannot transfer. You open, you close. Mr. A opens a proprietorship concern and he closes. Mr. B opens a proprietorship concern, he closes. That's it. Whereas when it comes to the private limited, it is not like that. That is an ongoing person, ongoing company. That's why, you can see many companies which have been operating since 1942, 1900, 1850. Like it has been existing till that period. The directors keep coming and going, but still the company is there. And yes, it has got a corporate status. The kind of corporate status is something special. And when you get into some competitive orders or to the banks or public financial institutions or any other investors meet, like wherever you go, that gives you a status. That is a corporate status. And that is a kind of elevated status of doing business. And yes, transferability, as I told you, the partnership firm and as I told you, the proprietorship concern, it is not that easy to transfer the firm. Whereas when it comes to the company, yes, A and B have been doing the business and the business was doing extremely good. Now A and B don't want to continue the business. They step off, C and D come in and they take over the business. That is something quite practically possible. And better borrowing capacity, yes, as I told you, the banks and other financial institutions would be interested in investing a disciplined, structured company like a private limited company rather than an undisciplined, unstructured business forms like a partnership firm or a proprietorship concern. So that's why it gives you a better borrowing capacity. And public funding, yes, as I told you, you can collect the deposits and money from the public. And transparency, yes, as I told you, the companies would be mapped under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and managed by the Registrar of Companies. And every year you have to file the account separately to the Register of Companies, and that is an open database. So your dad, your friends, anybody can just type the name of the company and get the records and see the performance. So no hiding, nothing. So this kind of transferability gives the confidence to the investors that they can invest. So these are the features of private limited. Cons, the disadvantages, yes, we have to say high compliance, the very discipline is also a kind of burden for us. So in that way, high compliance, that is a kind of disadvantage for us. Registration formalities, yes, it has got a lot of registration formalities. You need to go a set of process. You need to go a video call verification to verify your identity. Then you need to have a separate identification number, and that is a set of process for incorporating a company. It is not that easy like how you do a proprietorship concern or a partnership firm, where you just come forward, just think, okay, we'll do a business, start a business, and then no, this is not happening, let's close the business. In that way, you cannot that easily start a company and that easily close a company. The government closely monitors, because public funds are involved in that. You can collect money from the public, so the government is interested in protecting the economy and the interest of the public. So the government is pretty conscious about this, right? Now, the companies are basically divided into two types, okay? So it's like a private limited company and public limited company. Private limited company, that's basically a closely held organization. You and your friends come forward, do the business. To put it in an informal way, the private limited companies are 90 or 80% restrictions are there. 20%, okay, you have some liberty. There are certain things where there is no need for you to get permission from the government. You can do whatever you want. Like those kind of restrictions are not available. When it comes to the public limited, yes, there is an 100% restriction from the government. And the basic difference between the public limited and private limited is, public limited, you can collect the money from the public. You put up a stage. Hey boss, I've got a company and I've got a fancy idea. This is my idea and this is my profits. This is my sales. This is what I project, and I need money to implement that. People who are trusting me, invest in me. I am eligible to collect the money, invest in my company. I give you shares. Let's do the business. Let's make profits, and I distribute the profits based on the investments, whatever you make. This is something quite interesting, and that is public limited company. When it comes to private limited company, you cannot just open up to the public and just announce like how you do in the public limited company. But still, in the private limited company, you can talk to your friends and relatives. You can explain your friends, stating that hey, I've got a beautiful idea. This is my idea, and I'm running short of funds. Probably if you can invest, I cannot pay you interest, but I can give you a share of profit. Like that, you can convince your friends, your relatives or somebody, and you can have a closed circle, and you can get the money from them, and you can do the business. That is private limited company. And still, the private limited company, yes, you can talk to some vendors, some VCs, some funders, some investors. You can explain your ideas. You can talk something about how it's going to go, how you're going to operate. You can prove yourself, and if the investors are really convinced, if you're able to really put up your idea in a fancy way, and the investors are impressed, then yes, they are going to invest in your company. So these are the basic differences between public limited and private limited. I repeat, public limited, too much of restrictions. Private limited, limited restrictions. Public limited, you can open up to the public and collect the money whoever you want to, no limit, nothing. Private limited, yes, you can do, but you can do it in a restricted level. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to your relatives, you can talk to some of the investors, you can explain the project, you can explain all your prospects, and you need to convince them, and you can bring the money still. So these are the basic differences between the public limited and private limited. And then let's come to the business registration. Okay, so we have been talking for the past half an hour, and I was telling you something about the proprietorship concern, the partnership concern, the LLP, and the company, limited companies. Now I think you would have got a fair idea, like what you want, how to do, what to do, and you do. If you are planning to start a small business, okay, fine, let me be the boss, let nobody question me, I do whatever I want, let me do whatever I want, I open, I close, proprietorship concern. No, I have a couple of friends, we come forward, we put up our ideas together, we share ideas, we exchange ideas, we collectively put the investment. Let us be in a restricted level, we do the business, let us share the profits, go for partnership model. No, I need to take it really big, or at least I need a corporate status. I need to get into the corporate vendors, and I need to bring the funds from the investors. I need to talk with many of the stakeholders, and I need to talk with many people and explain my ideas, and I need to grow really big. I need to have a corporate status. I need a lot of flexibility. I need to have a company which could be transferred to somebody else. If you're really having that wide vision, go for public limited or private limited. Now I think you would have got a fair idea about that. Next, to move on. Okay, sir. Now I've got the clarity, and yes, I've decided which model I'm going to do the business. Now, what else I need to do? Yes. Next thing is, you have created an entity. You have given life to the entity, right? The next thing is business specific registration. Say if you are planning to start up a food related business, you need to get a separate registration for food. If you're planning to start up a drug related business, then you need to get a separate license for drug. And that is governed by the drugs department, and you need to get the license from the drugs department. If you're planning to deal with food, you need to get the registration from the food regulation authorities. If you're planning to do some finance related activities, you need to get the approval from RBI. If you are planning to start up some manufacturing related business, manufacturing, if you are really interested in starting up a factory, it has got an exclusive wide number of registrations. Like, you need to get registered under Factories Act, then you need to get permission from pollution control department. If you're really going to produce something that involves a lot of explosives, then you need to get permission from fire department. Like, when it comes to manufacturing, the compliance is huge. It has got an extensive number of registrations. So like that, business specific registration is the next thing what you need to focus. If you're going to do trading, no sir, I'm not going to get into a complex business model. I'm just going to do trading. I buy and sell. Not much registration. Say, I am going to offer some internet and telecommunication business. I am going to create my own bandwidth and I am going to sell it across the country. Yes, you have got a separate internet service provider license and you need to get the permission for that from telecommunications department. Let me do the cosmetics business. I deal with cosmetics. Yes, you need to again get registered with the drugs department. So if you can question me, sir, you're talking about these many licenses, but we have got these many business houses, but I'm not confident that all the business houses are getting licenses to do the business. Yes, they are not getting. The first thing is they are not aware. The next thing is they are not understanding about the seriousness of non-compliance. But once the respective authorities walk in these kind of unregistered business, then they could penalize like anything. So better to get registered and better to stay compliant. That is why I always say that staying compliant is something doing a kind of regular health checkups after 40 or after 50. So like how we recommend the people to do the health checkups after 50 every year, like that, you need to do the regular checkups on the compliance. Right. So say if you're planning to have a petrol bunk, again, it has got a lot of extensive regulations like from explosive department, from fire department, from pollution control, from local authorities, like many businesses, like many registrations. Okay. Now you are clear with the entity what you're going to start. You are clear with the business specific registration, what business you are going to start, and for that got the registration. Next. Whenever you start a business, you're supposed to have an office. Whatever it is, you can have it started even from your home. A business needs a place. A business needs a space for having its identity. Right. So that identity needs to be registered with the local authorities. It could be an MNC or it could be a petty shop. That needs to be registered with the local authority, like Chennai Corporation. Yes, you need to get registered. It could be a petty shop or it could be an MNC. That could be registered. That should be registered with the local Chennai Corporation, or if you are operating out of Chennai, local municipality or whatever the authority is having the control over the geographical location, you need to get registered. Next. Sir, GST. I'm not going to get into the conceptual part of GST. I just give you a glimpse of GST, what it is. GST, yes, you need to collect tax from your customers and you need to pay to the government. Sir, when this GST is applicable? If you are doing a turnover of somewhere around 20 lakhs per annum, more than 20 lakhs per annum, if you're in the service sector, GST comes and sits on your head. You have to be compliant with GST. If you are a trading concern, you buy and sell something, or you are dealing with some products, you have a limit of 40 lakhs. Up to the turnover of 40 lakhs per annum, no GST for you, no need to think about GST, nothing. When your turnover crosses 40 lakhs, you have to get into the GST ban and you need to stay compliant with the GST. GST again sits on your head. That's it. At this level, let's restrict our discussion with respect to GST to this. See, every annum I'm talking about. Where the first year you did a turnover of 30 lakhs, second year 35 lakhs, third year 37, fourth year 32. You can do the business related to the products without having any registration. But once you cross 40, then forget about all the limits, get into GST and start following the GST Act blindly, whatever the Act says. You need to collect the money from the customers and you need to pay to the government apart from the revenue, whatever you make. Clear? No. Okay. Let's not talk about running the show. Let us restrict our discussion only to the registrations. So let me just regroup and rerun the show. The first thing is you will be having a good business idea and you have got everything on the papers. The first thing is the nature of the entity you will have to select, then go for the registration of the entity, then think about the business specific registration, then think about the local registrations. And yes, you are fully built to do the business, whatever you want. So this is all about starting the business. Okay, now let's assume you are doing the business going on well. Now you have to get funds from the investors. See, I tell you, the investors will be interested in investing in the business. The thing is, the first thing is the business should be innovative. It should be feasible. and you should be in a position to convince the investors, and you need to attract the investments. All these things, whatever we have been talking about as of now, were just the regulatory compliance things what anybody can do. But when it comes to attracting the investments, you need to be smart, you need to be confident about your ideas, you need to be confident about the performance, you need to attract the investors, and based on that only you'll be able to catch the investments. Okay, so investments probably we can discuss during the Q&A session. I believe that all of you would have got some fair idea about registrations and taking off with the businesses and starting of the company. So over to you, Dr. Sangeeta.
Yeah, thank you so much, Harsha. It was a very wonderful presentation, I think, because I think you've made a lot of bullet points for us to understand it very easily. So excellent session. So now we are open for questions. Participants, you could unmute or put your questions in the chat box. Yeah, please go ahead, participants. Any basic question you can ask. Please don't fear. Even if you have a team, just a group, and you're thinking whether company registration is needed, spending that much money or contacting a CA and all that, you can ask all your questions. So by the time, Harsha, we get questions from the participants, maybe I can, ask some questions that are piled up with me when students come to me, So one question that they ask, you said GST we need not bother until we have 40 lakh earnings, right? Revenue. So, but when it's about product sales, and when you issue a bill, customer would ask you for a bill with GST mentioned in it, right?
Sure. See, that's what probably you can have an invoice and you can mention as GST unregistered. So if you mention as unregistered, then the customer may be in the position to understand that you didn't cross the 40 lakhs limit. So no GST. And as far as there is no GST, the customer should be happy. If I buy a product for 100 rupees without GST, then with GST, I'll be buying for 180. So if no GST as a customer, I'll be happy.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice.
And the limit what I stated is completely statutory. That is completely mandatory. It is not that till the time you cross the turnover, you are not supposed to get the registration. If you are voluntarily interested in getting the registration, you can get. Because what happens if you're dealing with the corporates and multinational corporations, as I told you, they are not bothered about the turnover what you make. They want you to be 100% compliant. So they may force you to say, if you are planning to do some business with Amazon, you want to list your products with Amazon, you cannot justify to the Amazon stating that my turnover is less than 40 lakhs, so I'll not be coming into GST. Nothing. Amazon wants to stay compliant. Amazon doesn't want to take any of the headaches of yours with from the government. So what he does, if you have GST, come to me. If you don't have, you cannot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the turnover limit.
Yes. Also, when the first thing that many startups go for is a website, because depending on of course, the business that they are dealing with, they go for website, they buy the domain and the website builder or whatever IT services to have a web page. So when they do that, a lot of companies like, Big Rock and all, they ask for your GST number so that GST could be registered against your GST filing. So how do they deal with that? Because I know a couple of startups who got the GST number just to have, their GST number over there and to get, I think, is the GST removed or is it communicated to the government that against this PAN card, the particular transaction took place?
No, nothing. See, this GST is completely a system-driven transaction. The GST chain itself is a completely system-driven. Okay, it is not like olden days where everything was happening manually. Now, with the advent of the system and technology, everything is system-driven, technology-based. I tell you, the GST number, whatever they include in the website, that is just for the sake of compliance. You are supposed to have your GST number wherever your business entities are flashed, and that is why the GST numbers are entered in website. But when it comes to the GST numbers are again generated based on PAN number. It's an alphanumeric PAN number based GST. GST is not something separate. GST and income tax are interlinked. So GST number is generated based on the PAN card. When it comes to the setting of the chain of GST, that is a pretty technical concept. I try my level best to make it simple. say I am the customer, that is a chain, okay, and GST ultimately falls in my head. It falls in the consumer's head. I am the consumer, okay. So what happens? Say let's talk about a shirt. I buy a shirt. A shirt is worth for 1,000 rupees, and I buy with GST 180, so 1,180 I pay. So what happens? The shirt manufacturing cost should have been 300. GST on 300 would have been paid by the factory, and the shirt is moved to the wholesaler. The wholesaler sells it at the rate of 500. Now what happens? The wholesaler collects the GST on 500. Already GST on 300 is paid, so
Yeah.
he pays
Only for
only 200
200.
GST.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens? Again, that is moved to the retailer. Retailer collects again 800 from you, 500 he retains, and 300 is given to the government. So
Yes.
ultimately, the GST falls on the final consumer's head, but the practically speaking, government is not interested to wait till the time it reaches the final consumer and the final money is collected from the final consumer and getting it in the pockets of the government. Government is not ready for that much delay. So straight away, once the responsibility is shed off, you pay your share of GST. Get it collected from somebody else.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And uh, this is only for those startups that have reached that level. But for those who are
Okay.
starting, some are asking what is the how to evaluate the startup ideas and proceed further. Hmm.
See, as I told you, the first thing is, these questions are pretty advanced level. The first thing is start the business, register the company, whatever model you want to, then get registered with the model of the product-based business, then do the business, and keep posting the numbers. Keep posting the numbers. Keep doing business. Sales less purchases less expenses gives me profit. The simple equation. I'm not making it as a complicated accounting model. A simple equation. Sales less purchases less expenses gives me profit. And all the efforts I need to do is I need to keep on increasing this number. Once this number is increased, the cash flow will get increased. The worth of the business will get increased. Either I need to post good amount of profits, or I need to show that there is a capability of making big numbers in future. Either I need to post big numbers now, or I need to have confidence in the business that this business is going to post big numbers in the future. Accordingly, I will have a lot of projections.
Right, right. I'm just asking. So, in to simplify things, and on behalf of the students, if I were to ask, private limited company, number of directors needed 2, right?
Minimum number of directors 2.
So participants, for your information, two directors needed. So you and your friend, if you are teaming up, 2 directors needed. What are the documents needed?
Basic KYC documents like your PAN card,
Okay,
your passport, your voter ID, then your photograph,
right.
then your recent
Yeah,
bank statement, like
yeah,
all are basic KYC
yeah.
documents.
So one proof of your identity and one address proof. That will do,
Yes,
right?
exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
that's nice. And of course, one lovely photograph of yours. Right. That's fine. And now tell us the fees, Harsha. You are a CA. If I approach you as a startup, what will
See,
be the general fees, and what are the economical, media or modes of registering a company?
oh, see, when it comes to the company registrations nowadays, since our country is getting flooded with a lot of startups, a lot of interesting ideas, we have got a lot of websites, online vendors who are ready to offer the company registrations even for 3,000, 4,000. Yes, they are doing, but the quality, the quality and the kind of support what you get from those guys, you give them the documents and you get company back from them. That's it. And actually, the cost what you incur for incorporating a company itself is pretty more than what these guys are charging. because they would like to grab the people. But the thing is, you pay 4,000 to the online people and you get the company in return, or probably now I think 6,000. You pay 6,000 to the online vendors and you get the company in return. You'll not get any other support, nothing. But our what we charge is somewhere around 10,000, and because we need to cover the costs, and we offer all the advices, and basically the relationship between an auditor and client goes in a very flexible way. It is based on the relationship, because we cannot devise as stringent rules like how in other businesses we do.
Right.
So it is purely based on the relationship. To start with, okay, we can complete all the set of works, the company registration at a cost of 10,000.
And nowadays there are many online platforms also which are offering very cheap company registration services. It's only that you won't get to talk to people there. Everything is done online. They might contact you over WhatsApp or through email, and you have to submit the documents online on a dashboard, like the way we submit for any application. So there is what's his name, Selva Kumar there. Selva Kumar, are you there? Do you have any questions for Harsha sir? Please ask.
No.
You're MIT, right?
So CG only.
CG, okay. Have you registered? What's your idea? Can you let Harsha sir know? At what level are you at?
No, ma'am, I'm not yet. Only selected in the prospect.
You're selected in the prospect. Right. So what is your plan? You want to register as a private company, private limited company?
Yeah, to decide, ma'am, after 6 months only.
Okay. So you have any questions for Harsha sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
And I saw a method of evaluation of the company. Okay, to make it very simple, the method of evaluation is very simple. The first method is based on your books. I have 1 lakh rupees money in my pocket. I have 20,000 debt outside. My net worth is 80,000. This is one of the familiar methods of evaluating a person or a company. How much asset a company has got, how much liability the company is having, and what is the net worth of the company. That is the method of evaluating the company. This method is usually followed by the traditional and conventional financial institutions like banks, like cooperative societies, like government-based organizations. These people follow the evaluation techniques only based on the conservative method, like what I told you. The second method is the new age modern investors like VCs, angel funding investments, the many seed capital assistance, whatever way you call. At the end of the day, you get funds from the people. So these people have interesting methods of evaluating the business ideas. The first thing is, yes, they also do the normal conventional method. 1 lakh you have, 20,000 debt you have, 80,000 is your net value. And the second model is they project your business. Okay, let us assume that you are doing an EV business, electrical vehicle business. At this moment in Chennai, totally you have some 1 lakh electrical vehicles. At this moment, the net worth of you may be 10 lakhs. But the banks and financial institutions, the traditional institutions, do the valuation in this way. But the new age modern investment agencies, how they do, okay, the electrical vehicle business has got a very good potential. Considering the increase in fuel costs, and considering the increase in pollution, and considering the government measures, government policies, announcements, so we have a strong belief on electrical vehicle business. So now in Chennai, you have got 1 lakh vehicles. Next year, you may be having 5 lakhs. Next year, you may be having 25 lakhs. Next year, you may be having 50 lakhs, and then 1 crore, and then 10 crores. This is the way you do the projection. Okay, I'm impressed. Yes, this is doable. Okay, so today you have 1 lakh. Okay, I'm not bothered about that. Tomorrow, first year, you will be having 10 lakhs. Next year, you'll be having 50 lakhs. Third year, you'll be having 1 crore. Fourth year, 10 crores. Fifth year, 100 crores. Yes, this is doable. I am also convinced. I'll do the investment. Let's take it off. This is the method of evaluating the businesses by the new age investment agencies.
Yeah, correct. That's very nice. That's really nice. So, a couple more questions with me. Is, just out of curiosity, someone asking about how Byju's acquired companies overseas. So, what is the technical aspect over there, the legal aspect? Can others unmute, please? Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's been unmuted. Harsha, you can go ahead.
The Byju's you're telling, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. See, they
Okay.
acquired Singapore and other firms,
You
right?
see, Byju's actually, the first thing is they started off in the year 2011 and they started off like any other company. But the kind of model what they combined, what they introduced, that was quite impressive because, till that time, everything was going on based on the books. But Byju's came out with a lot of innovative ideas, technology. Byju's was able to convince a couple of angel investors, a couple of venture capital funds, and they got the funds, and with that funds also they were able to prove themselves. They got 1 crore and they posted profits, and then they got 10 crores and they posted profits, and then they got 100 crores and they started growing, and they were able to convince the business, they were able to win the trust of the investors. And that is how, just see, this is a very small circle. Once you are able to satisfy one investors, they will automatically easily come in. Like just like a restaurant business, you are a customer, and somewhere deep interior corner, one small dosa shop, if that fellow is offering good dosas, then within a couple of years that dosa shop will be flooded like anything.
Yeah.
Similarly, the investment agencies, once you are able to impress one investor, that circle is also again very closely structured circle, and you get investments flowing like anything, provided
Yeah.
you show the performance and keep posting the numbers.
Yes, yes. And
The
I
government
think
will also be interested to promote you, because you do more business, you pay more taxes. You pay more taxes, the economy grows. So once the government is interested and once the government is impressed that you are doing more businesses and you are going to pay more tax, government will definitely promote you.
yes,
And
right.
once the investors feel that you are backed by government, then sky is the limit.
Yes, that's really nice. And I think so. Somebody unmuted. Dr. Subhashri, you have a question? You were unmuting yourself, Dr. Subhashri. Okay. And someone who asked about the startup ideas, you want to unmute yourself and ask Harsha sir directly? Someone who asked about startup ideas, you can unmute and ask him directly. Okay, some people have issues with the audio and also probably. So as Harsha sir also said, best thing is, yeah, who is that? I can hear someone. Nirmala Devi, you have a question? Okay, Selva Kumar is asking, how is it to start up with software idea, ma'am? Okay, yeah. Harsha sir, please.
Again, just like any other business, you do software. Let us assume that you develop software, you develop product, you're a product based industry, you develop a software, you develop a small software, a pilot version, and you demonstrate that. You should be in a position to reach that to the customers. And once that is done, then you develop a full version and you go ahead, you start selling, you do marketing, you capture the clients and sell the products and grow.
Right, right. And there are registrations, trade registrations like MSME and Startup India, with which you get a lot of benefits, right? Tax benefits and all.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there is Rajashekar. Yeah, you have a question? Please unmute yourself and ask. Rajashekar, it looks like you have a question. We can't hear you. One second, Harsh, I'll get you.
Yeah, no.
Rajashekar, you want to ask a question? Or you can put it in the chat box. Okay. You can only see his video, right? So there are only, as we were saying, there are registrations for trade. If you are an MSME, government gives you priority while purchasing equipment or any accessories for the government offices. There is reservation for the MSMEs, the startups, and there is a reservation for
See,
women under that.
so
Yeah.
not only that, the government has got many schemes like that. It is not that only MSME. Government has got many schemes, many incentives for softwares. So the first thing is we need to fix up the idea. We cannot go by the incentives. The incentives are only for ideas. Ideas are not for incentives. So we need to fetch up the idea. We need to be confident in that. And the next thing is finish off all the formalities, then do an extensive study on what are all that benefits announced by the government. Because now the central government has announced a lot of schemes and many people are actually getting benefited. The only thing is, the lack of awareness. So you need to study and you need to self-evaluate whether we are able to fit in the incentive schemes, whatever that are offered by the government. And based on that, we can take it forward. And how to approach that is very simple. You just figure out which is the department, walk in the department, or just walk into that website, and that website will have an exclusive procedure for that. Nowadays, it is not like those days where you have to just walk in looking for that department and looking for that authority, going in the hot sun, nothing. Just get into that website and read out the regulations and write a mail, and immediately you get the reply.
Right. That's rightly said by Harsha, sir. It is very easy nowadays. And also to get Startup India registration, which is DPIIT, very much needed nowadays. Again, it's
That is
very
again
safe.
very
Yes, it's within 3 hours you can get the process done, and that for that they prefer you to be registered as a private limited company.
correct.
So as we have already discussed the procedure and the fees and the documentation required. So any other questions, audience, participants? I'll try to catch few more questions. Okay. Also to add to that, since a lot of students and faculty members must be there from Anna University, we have Anna Atal Incubation Center. So if you're registered as a private limited company, you could also get incubated. And what will be the terms of the incubation that you have to decide, case by case it is decided. You can come and discuss with the Atal Incubation team. And also what services or what are you looking for from the incubation, whether it's in terms of support for investment, whether is it in terms of a co-working space, or you just want mentorship from them, how to go about, how to develop a business plan. So incubation centers can help you, and we at CED are here to help you starting from your ideation level. So you could come to CED as well. And Harsha sir is there, and I think Krishna has logged in. Harsha, any idea? I can see a Krishna name. I hope it's our Krishna.
Yeah, it should be.
Hi,
Yes,
Krishna.
yes.
Very
Good
nice
evening.
to see you. Good
Good
evening. Thank you for joining us. So participants, those who have left, they have missed seeing Krishna sir. So you know who is he? He is the founder of Just Legal. You would have heard about it, and he's the founder of it. So without any delay further, Krishna, please, what is the best advice that you could give to students?
Before that, I would just like to thank you, Dr. Madam Sangeeta, for inviting me and the Center for Entrepreneurship Development for giving me this opportunity. It's been a wonderful session by Mr. Harsha. He has just lucidly explained every aspect of forming a company.
Thank you.
And now,
Thank you, Mr. Sir.
what as a legal professional I can do for a startup. So before that, I'll just ask the participants one small question. So how many of you have a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler? You can just raise your hands.
Yeah, please raise your hands.
I'm sure each one of you would definitely have a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you will also require an insurance, isn't it? So if Mr. Harsha has explained you about the vehicle, the entities, various entities which are required for running a company or running a business. Now, this insurance is something like what a legal agreement is all about. So for an easy and a safe journey of your entrepreneurship, you need
Yeah.
all the agreements in place. You need everything in black and white. That is where a legal professional will actually help you to make sure that you have a very good and a easy transition in your journey. With that, I'll leave the floor open for questions. So it's better to have questions rather than going in.
So
Yes. Any
participants,
questions you have in specific that I can address?
yeah, we have Krishna sir as well. So participants, please feel free to ask questions. Okay, there is one question. Maybe you could answer that. There are,
Yes.
some students pitching for investment. So even like day before yesterday, I had a meeting, and students were wanting to know whether they should form a company before investment, before raising investment or going to an investor, or after having done that. So because some of the CAs are advising them to not to form, because they say if the team is credible and you have a great backgrounds and all that, no investor would look at the company formation and all. But on the other hand, there were some investors who said, no, are you registered, are you serious about it? So the students were little, they had split mind, and they were wanting to know, they wanted to know whether it's nice to form a company before or after.
To put it straight, it depends on what the idea is all about. Say, for example, we were just discussing about a software idea. Right?
Yeah.
For developing a software or developing a website which is going to be promoted as a product. Say, for example, there are several, Zoho or SaaS kind of platform you're going to use. You don't require per se any entity. There is a private limited company or a partnership company. People will definitely be interested in investing in your idea. If there is something like where you need a physical kind of a product which you might have to show it to investors, then probably you might require a patent or a design, a trademark registration. All that might have to be necessarily in place for you to get those investments. So it depends exactly on what kind of a business or an idea you're looking at, and based on that, you can decide whether to go for an investment prior or after the formation of a company.
Yeah, but it's always nice to have a company
Definitely, it's always
registered
nice
for
to have
that.
it.
Yeah, and
Yes.
your commitment towards the work is also higher. I feel if you are if you are bound in a legal entity, you all are responsible and accountable as well, right? And of course, these MSME and Startup India DPIIT registrations also give you benefits. And as you said, it depends on the product, and with respect to patenting as well, it will give you all the benefits. So that's nice thoughts, Krishna. Otherwise, uh, the many companies, and nowadays central government schemes also, they are funding private limited companies only that are incubated in a particular incubation center. So that surely, I think, justifies all this what you said just now. And having a funding through the incubation center is something which also gives little assurance to the central government offices as well, that okay, it's through an incubation center, it's not any individual to whom they're paying. That's a nice thing. But what about the many students come up with the idea of opening a restaurant, and they are never serious about registering it as such, because they think it's a restaurant, like it's like a shop. So, do you think they should also go for very much a legal kind of registration, or they can start with until their revenues go high?
As far as a restaurant is concerned, I think you need various certifications for even starting one. So therefore, it is always better that you have an entity in place, which will definitely help you to do your business. And as far as this restaurant, even I had this idea of starting a restaurant a couple of years back.
Right.
Of course, I didn't implement it. So that is still there at the back of my mind.
Oh, okay, nice. So Krishna restaurant, Krishna Sapad.
No.
No
It was a
Sapad.
base, and I don't mind telling you the concept if somebody is interested to take it up.
Yeah, please.
It was something based completely out of egg. So right from the start, the end, it was it'll have a egg as a concept. So I had designed even the chair and tables to have a look of the shell, etc. So somebody wants to replicate it, you can.
Right. That's really nice concept because children, they love to see and touch the egg and also would nod, yes, I want to eat. But when you boil and keep it and the yellow part of it, and then they do yuck and all that. And I think we need to motivate them, give them the right ambience to eat proteinaceous food, right? That's a nice concept. And there are so many participants listening to you, maybe.
And
I don't know.
And the reason why I told you this, because the time in which I had this idea and I didn't implement. And after 2 years, I saw that there are already existing players which had actually started at the same time. So
in India?
Yeah, in India.
Okay.
Or when you have an idea, it's always better to have it patented or you have a trademark registration. So this will help you to protect your idea and help you in your business. So that was the reason why I actually told you this.
Yeah, nice. Last week, actually, we had a session on IPR. So I think our participants are well-versed, well knowledgeable in understanding what you're saying. That's Wonderful. Really nice. That's really nice. So for those who are from Anna University, I would like to also add on behalf of Krishna Bhagat sir, he is from Just Legal, the co-founder, as I said, and he is associated with the Anna Atal Incubation Center. So what benefits we get? Krishna sir, please, I would like to hear from you.
I would definitely help startups. I'll always be happy to support startups with all their legal requirements, say right from their pre-incubation, pre-incorporation, and right through their formation, everything which requires a legal agreement or whatever you want.
Right. Anything that they don't understand has a little complicated language as well. Krishna sir is there, and that's nice of you, sir. Yeah.
I think I see a question here.
Yeah, they're saying in India there is no patent for software.
Yes.
No, but recently I think what is the recent news? We can patent the software. We can copyright a patent, copyright a software just like that. And if it's part of a hardware, I think it is patentable.
Correct. So software in unison cannot be cannot be patented. But when it comes with a product, definitely you can do it. Like just like what you said just now. Because there are several, say for example, you have a website, say like Amazon. So you always have a Flipkart or you have something else. Geo is going to come up with a similar kind of concept. So there is no bar on any person starting a website like that. So you just cannot monopolize such things.
Yeah. So because recently I came across apps are being copyrighted because of the uniqueness in them, because each app does a different thing. So probably apps are being copyrighted in India.
Apps can be copyrighted, but you always have room for people copying it and just tweaking it a little bit, that it doesn't look similar.
Right.
So there's always a loophole to overcome all these softwares.
Yeah. There is something in the chat. Okay, it's the same question which you picked. All right, with that, any other questions, participants? For Krishna sir, people are thanking you. Okay, they want to go, that means. So Krishna ji, thank you so much for joining. And Harsha, any concluding remarks for the participants? No, before the thank you, conclusion, please, anything, final advice?
The first thing is I would like to thank all the participants who actually listened patiently all the stages and all the explanations, whatever I gave, a long, lucid, lengthy explanations, and still they were able to manage and listen to everything. So thank you for listening. And I believe that these people will make out successful entrepreneurs, because 1 hour they were able to manage and listen to all these lectures. Then they have got all the patience to do the business successfully. So all the best, folks. Do well.
Nice, nice. So great tip, right? So
Because
I hope
patience
we
is
are.
important, perseverance is important, and the
Yes,
patience they were able to show up in this 1 hour talk. So definitely this could be extrapolated, and this could be implemented in the businesses as well. So they have got
yeah.
ideas and they have got the qualities also. So they will definitely succeed. All the
Right.
best.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Harsha. Thank you so much. So
Thank
this
you.
Rajshekhar is asking if the software is interceded with the hardware, can I apply for IPR, right? Is that right? Krishna ji, Harsha ji, you both can answer this. So if the software is interceded, means it's a part of it, or as you say,
Yeah.
unison with the hardware, yes, you can apply for a patent. IPR is intellectual property, right? It's a general term for all the things like patent, copyright, trademark, GI, and
Design.
all that. So designs. So what sir is mentioning, Rajshekhar, that you can apply for patent for the hardware along with the software which is needed to make it function. Is that
Yes.
right? I am
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Okay, that's nice. So any other questions? We are little over the time as well, but I think it's worth that because Krishna sir also joined. I wasn't expecting you. So but nice to have you both, and thank you so much again. And I will, can I share email IDs or something, or which you could put in the chat box for people to connect with you both? Is it possible? Krishna
Yeah,
sir
sure.
and Harsha, please, could you please put the email IDs in the chat box so that they can connect? They can also contact me. Participants, you can also contact me if you want to get in touch with them if you missed. Also, a last request is, please fill the feedback form before you leave. So yeah, thank you so much, Harsha and Krishna sir. Thank you so much. I don't feel like calling you sir, Harsha. You look more of my age only. Sorry for that. So okay, so we have IDs in the chat box. You can contact them at any time, and share your whatever questions you have. So, sorry, what is this? Some student has shared his ID. Yeah, thank you, Atikiri, for sharing your email ID. But you can contact Krishna sir and Harsha sir with your specific questions, and they'll be happy to answer you. So, once again, from the team of CED, Anna University, I would like to um, give a big thanks to Harsha sir and Krishna sir for joining us, and hope to be, getting more advice from you and getting associated with you in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you, participants. Please fill the feedback form before you leave, and please collect the email IDs of Sathya sir and Harsha sir and Krishna sir. Thank you, Harsha. Thank you, Krishna
Thank
sir.
you.
Bye.
I see you.
See you. Participants, please fill in the form, and next week we'll be joining again on the FriCED-Up webinar series on Friday, 3 p.m. Please remember, it's the same Zoom link that you can use. It's a recurring meeting. You can use the same link to join us. Thank you. Bye.